everyone. I want to give a quick shout out and thank you to everybody who's been completing missed work and sending me the email letting me know that it's turned in. I'm really happy to be updating grades and seeing those zeros be filled in. Unfortunately, though, as I was going through, because of people's emails, I discovered about 15 assignments that no one ever told me that they turned in. They turned them in late and didn't actually email me and let me know. I did update PowerSchool for those individuals, but you have to be careful. There is no guarantee I will see your work unless you send me an email letting me know that it's been submitted. I don't care on Friday, April 10th, if you email me and say, Miss Yanisick, I turned something in a week ago, and you didn't update it. If you did not send me an email, then I'm not going to be able to do anything about it. Sorry, as we have a little guest star here. Okay, let me put him down. So please make sure that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. That way I can give you credit and everything's fair. All it takes is a quick email. Miss Yanisick, I handed this in. I'll respond back to you as soon as I see the email, and I will update PowerSchool shortly thereafter. So if you've been doing what you're supposed to, thank you. Again, I appreciate it. I'm hoping you're seeing that your grades are improving. If you haven't, please get on board and make sure you're turning stuff in. All right, so for today, we are going to be working on basically the assessment for East Asia. This is the last East Asia activity that you guys will be doing, okay? I'm going to pop it up here. All right, so it is all short answer. It's open notebook, so you can use any of your notes to answer these questions. I highly encourage you to have out your chart, the green charts if you have them, because that has a general overview of everything you could possibly need. Okay, so it is document based. The first 4 questions or so are based on this reading. I will remind you guys, I did put hints throughout the questions. I will remind you, this first one is based on Japan. Do not confuse China with Japan. That's the number one thing I've seen students do wrong with this assessment in the past, so just be aware of that. Questions 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all based on this reading here. All right, moving along here. You have a short quote. This time it's from Mao. So again, always be thinking, what country am I talking about? So this would be China, okay? And you have questions 5, 6, and 7 that are based on that, okay? And then finally, question 8 is a political cartoon. You'll be asked, what is the issue of the cartoon? So like, what is the topic that it's discussing? What background knowledge is needed to understand the cartoon? This can be as simple as what historical background you've seen. It could be events. It could be specific things that we've discussed in class that you would need to know in order to understand it. The next one is any labels and captions provided. What information do they provide? What are they trying to tell you? And then finally, this is sewing everything together. It's what argument being made, what is the argument being made in the cartoon? How does the reader know what the argument is? So what is the author trying to say? What is their overall message? And how can you tell? Which that's going to be tied to those things that you did first. If you have any questions with this, please reach out to me. You have until Monday, okay, 8 a.m. as usual with the due dates are concerned. I will warn you, I am going to start to mark items late if they are not turned in on time next week. So if you do not have this handed in on time before 8 a.m. on Monday, then you will get a point deduction, or depending on how late it's turned in. It'll only be a couple points if, you know, you're doing it the same day. But, you know, my idea with this is that you have it done by Monday. Monday, you're going to have a new activity. We're going to be starting Africa. And this needs to be turned in before then. Okay, so if you have any questions on this, I'll be happy to answer. As always, I'll be on checking, making sure that you have everything you need. I will also on Friday have office hours. As always, it's always 9 to 11. But I will have a specific time period that you can jump on is Zoom if you're familiar with that, and you can ask me questions. So if you're having difficulty, Friday is that option that you can video chat with me and I can help you out. So I will be posting that not until Thursday. So that would be tomorrow for you guys. Um, so just be aware of that. I'm happy to help. You don't have to do this with no help whatsoever, but you have to just be aware. I'm probably going to put a survey out later in the day, probably attached actually to this post, and just to let you know like what times are good for you for the Zoom. I can't take everybody into consideration, unfortunately, but if I notice that a lot of people are like, oh, 9:30 is good, I'll try and get that time frame there. So if you have questions, please reach out. Again, those green charts will be super helpful for you um, completing this activity. Okay, good luck and reach out if you have questions. Bye.